Greetings, Gatewood Gators. My name is Miss Emma. Some of you know me from being a Room 19 teacher, but I am also your new Learning Garden Coordinator, and I'm so excited to be part of that role. I am also very excited to be collaborating with your science teachers in order to conduct a science experiment indoors that not only allows you to practice that green thumb, but also gets you making scientific observations so that you can be all the better when it comes to science. So what we are going to be doing is called forcing bulbs. Forcing bulbs, plant bulbs, is a technique that causes them to flower in conditions other than what they would naturally experience outdoors. So usually a Paperwhite bulb, which is what we are going to be growing today, would be grown outdoors in the springtime. It is part of the Narcissus family. Another flower that you all know that's part of the Narcissus family are daffodils. So you kind of know a little bit about this plant already, but we are going to be growing it inside. Now, it's going to be pretty fun. I know that all of your teachers are going to have some different ideas about what they're going to be doing as far as scientific experiments, observing growth, possibly creating some growth charts on hopefully daily. But just to get a head start, I think it's really important to jot down some scientific observations before we even plant it. So for me, on my day one of having this bulb, I decided to use colored pencil to draw out the bulb to the best of my ability. This doesn't have to be perfect, it's just the best we can do. I used several different colors of brown to try to really get those streaks and lines that I saw in that bulb. I made sure to put that little green tip I noticed in the roots. And I also used a handy dandy ruler because I wanted to measure how tall that bulb is from the roots all the way to the tip. My bulb was 2.5 inches long. Might be good to do the width too. I'm just thinking about that now. But I also made some written observations before I planted it. I wrote that my bulb is dark brown with streaks of light brown. There are some dry, tangly roots on the bottom, and it has a tip of green at the top. So those are my observations that I made before starting the planting, and now we are going to jump into planting time. So you will be provided with a bulb and hopefully some rocks or pebbles. If you don't have pebbles in your kit that you're going to be provided, you can go ahead and grab some pebbles outdoors. You can get those at the beach. You might be able to get them just on a walk. Just gather some little rocks. Make sure that you wash them if you get them in a driveway or on the street, just because if there's gasoline and things like that in it, we want to make sure that they're nice and clean. But for now, I have just some river rocks I picked up at Home Depot, as well as a glass jar. You do not have to have a glass jar. You do not have to have a mason jar. The thing is, I drink out of mason jars all the time, and that's the only thing I have around my house, so I'm using that. The key thing is that you make sure that you have a sealed cup. It could be a drinking glass. It could be a plastic cup. It does not matter as long as it is clear so you can see through and make your observations, and it does not leak water. So, first things first, got my cup. I've got my rocks. I'm going to start pouring some rocks inside. So I don't have suggestions on how many rocks to put in. I just kind of gauged. That's about 2 inches. I just gauged based on that. What I'm going to say is you're going to take your bulb and you are going to nestle it in and make sure that those roots are nestled into the rocks. It doesn't have to be buried deep in. It just has to you got to make sure that those rocks and roots are going to be together. Can you tell I chose a narrow jar, so maybe this wasn't the best cup suggestion, but what I have now is my bulb placed on top of these rocks. Key point now, guys, gotta water it. So making sure that we pour enough water in so that all of the rocks are filled with water and that those roots are seeping water. So as you can tell, it looks like a lot of water. I'm not drowning it. The water doesn't go above the bulb. It's just hitting the rocks. And it's important to replenish this water when you can, because there will be some evaporation of the water as well as the roots absorbing water. So just really keeping your eyes peeled when you're checking in on your plant bulb, whether you have enough water. In about 1 to 2 weeks, you will start to see roots growing as well as your plant the stems starting to come out. In about a month, you'll start to see the flowering of your Paperwhite bulb. And it's a very exciting experience because it has beautiful white star-shaped, little white star-shaped flowers and an amazing smell. When it starts to bloom, I highly recommend moving it away from that sunny windowsill or that sunny spot in your home and putting it in a shadier, cooler place, because that will prolong the blooming period, which means that you will have those blooms a little bit longer. Now, your Paperwhite is going to go pretty tall. It can grow possibly up to 15 inches. That means that whether you have a shallow or a tall cup, it's going to be shooting up high. You might need to make some sort of support using a stick of some sort, but I know that you will be problem solving with your teachers for that. I am so excited to be able to be part of this project, and I cannot wait to hear from your teachers about how your Paperwhite growth is going and how it's hopefully spreading a little bit of joy in these kind of crazy times we're living in. So thank you so much for watching the video, and I can't wait to see your Paperwhites bloom. Bye.